What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be breaking down what's going on with SPY and the overall market, talk about why the market sold off at the very end of the day, and what's likely going to happen moving forward looking at the current setup. Before I break anything down about all this information, though, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And don't forget about the Moomoo link. The offer ends very soon. Put in $100 and you're guaranteed 5 free stocks with a $100 cash reward. The offer ends very soon, so check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. All right, so SPY ended up cooling off by about 0.34% for the day. And the question is, why did the market cool off this way? In the morning, I released a video and I told you guys that if we did see a sell-off, if the market started selling off, watch that 440 level because the market makers would be incentivized to close this below 440. But that's not the only reason why it happened this way, right? We have a long weekend coming up. There's typically going to be a lot of these like profit takers, lots of selling off right before the weekend starts. And that's what ended up happening. But there's something else we could look at to get a better understanding of this. Now, when you look at the option chain for SPY, so I have it right over here. I called this out in the morning. I hope you guys remember that. And we also have more data from right here. So if I was a market maker, right, I'd be looking at this data and I would see where is the higher level of open interest. And you could see the market makers realized that when you look at the options chain, there was high open interest at 449, 448, 445, all the way down to about 440, right? The 22,842 right here. And then what they realized is that they were not able to cause the market to crash. And why was that? Because if the market got that downward pressure like from today, like right here, first off, we had some nice support at 440, and then we tried to push up. And during these moments when the market was like about to get these drops, we saw a lot of buying pressure come back because of the algos, right? A lot of these algorithms came back, buying up the market, trying to prop it right back up before the market ended up getting the sell-off near the end of the day. Now, why did the market sell off near the end of the day? There are many reasons for that, but one of them would be the market makers. So the market makers were looking at this data, right? And they knew they could not bring the market down to max pain. They could not get SPY to crash 5%, 6% in one day. That would be absolutely wild. Super unlikely unless there's something very crazy that happens, which is extremely rare, very, very unlikely. So here's what they did. They realized that, hey, the market had all of this going on. There are all these people that have these calls. There's very high open interest around these levels. Even the volume of the calls was very high above 440. So the market makers went for the closest one they could get based off the current circumstances. So 442 had high open interest. That was close to where we were. And notice how the market struggled to hold around this 443 to 444, 444, 443, and 442 level away from all of those. And then right here, the market makers realized this and they brought the market down below this 440 level. So their goal was to get us to close below 440, which is where we have way less open interest. On the put side, it's a little bit different. I mean, we had higher levels of open interest like right here, but basically around this like 440 level, there's also this drop right here, and they would have preferred to get us down to like 435 on the put side, but they obviously could not do that in just one day. So they went for the next best level, which would have been below 440. So that's why, or at least that's part of why the market got this sell-off near the very end. Market makers came in and they said, hey, we're not going to give these people a victory. We're not going to give, we're not going to let the advantage go to the other individuals, other institutions. We're going to do what's more advantageous for ourselves. So that's why the market got the sell-off. Now, in the 1 hour time frame, we're trying to hold this 50 EMA, and we have this imbalance very close to this like 436 area. Now, for now, there's no confirmation just yet that the market's going to start downtrending, but there is a high probability of that happening. Just to give you guys a heads up, because we have a lot of Fed speakers. Like we have Bullard speaking tomorrow. We have Williams, not tomorrow, sorry, on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we have Bullard and Williams speaking. We have Jerome Powell speaking on Wednesday. We have more and more of these Fed speakers on Wednesday. On Thursday, we have Waller, Mester, and just a bunch of other ones, man. It's just insane. We have so many of them. I think Powell's giving 2 testimonies in a row on Wednesday and Thursday. Not sure what he wants this time, but it's pretty funny. Then for Friday, we have Bullard and Bostic. We have a lot of Hawks and also Jerome Powell speaking, which could move the market big time. Could the Fed be trying to correct the market? Is this the reason why they have Powell speaking? Could they try to do it? It's a possibility, and there's a big risk in that. So on the 4-hour time frame on SPY, I just want to remind you guys, we have a tendency of testing the 50 EMA, right? Right here in the back, you can see we were holding above the 200 at one point. Then after we broke above the 200, our next important level became the 50 EMA as support back near the very end of May. This was support at the 50 EMA test, bounce, test the 50 EMA, bounce. We pushed, and then since then, we remained above it. But if we come back down to test it, we need confirmation. That would be a hold below 440. If that happens, we have the CMA right over here. So we're going to watch that very, very carefully. And I just want to add that the Fed speakers could add to more selling pressure. It could slow the market down even more. And we do have a negative divergence that's still developing on SPY. There's just no confirmation yet of it playing out, no true confirmation. We need to see it continue to break down and fail to hold 440. That's going to give us more signals that the market may sell off a bit. Completely normal, nothing wrong with that. If you look at the 1-hour time frame, you can see the negative divergence a lot more clearly. I'm just going to pull it off right here. If we look at the 1-hour, you can see the RSI has been trending downwards, so it has the MACD. Yet the prices continue to go up, so we could get a rejection because of this and see the market cool off. That's another signal. I mean, 431 happens to be where the 1-hour 200 happens to be too, if this 50 breaks. So that could be another level to watch for. But for now, I just want to note that the odds do favor downside for next week with all the Fed speakers. But I'm going to watch for confirmation, see if we truly hold below 440, because we could always try to make our way up. I'm leaning more in the direction of the market cooling off, just temporarily. But we need confirmation for us to be more confident. But for now, that's just my warning for everyone. That's what I have for this video in a nutshell. I just want to thank you all so much for listening. Last but not least, let's just quickly talk about a couple of other tickers like the QQQ and just a few others. QQQ got a bearish cross on the 1-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, the same thing's about to go down. We're getting very close to a bearish cross once again. Excuse me. And the QQQ is getting very close to this big change in volume on the 4-hour time frame to get closer to 365. And if that fails, this time we have like 360. We have to watch those levels very carefully. And it's very important to note how it's holding support. I also want to add that it has a tendency of bouncing off the 50 EMA. So it tested it like 2 or 3 times over the last few weeks. If it comes down to that, it's going to be closer to that 360 level. So there is potential for downside on the triple Q, but that does not mean the market has to crash. There's a big difference right there, right? There's a big difference between a healthy pullback and a crash. I'm not saying there's a crash. You have to remember, the market, SPY, is well above 420. We're well above 400. We're above 390 on all those high levels. Don't you dare be talking about new lows at these levels. It just does not make sense. And it's best to just read the trend and see what the market is doing instead of trying to time some kind of crash, which is what a lot of people have been asking me about. That's just my view of it. And you can tell that you can see a lot more success at trying to look at it this way and just look at the current trend and what the market tells you than to simply just time one type of play. Could it happen in the future? It still could happen depending on the catalysts, but in the eyes of the market, it's not really getting it. And then if you look at the market makers, they do love to manipulate these markets and look at these options chains to determine what they're going to do. And we're going to continue to look at the options chain, right? If there are still too many puts out there, right? Market makers could try to hold things up and avoid a massive crash. Still a possibility, but I just wanted to note all of this. All right, so I'm going to end the video from here, keep it very short since it's a long weekend. Thank you all so much for listening. I have some merch just down below where the comment section is. And don't forget about the Moomoo link. The offer ends very soon. If you put in $100, you're guaranteed. Once again, 5 free stocks with a $100 cash reward. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy the weekend, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you, and peace out.